Hey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lunch Break with GABC. I'm your host, Ashley Mateos, coming to you live from the Carl-Schurz-Haus. For those of you who don't know, the Carl-Schurz-Haus is the German-American Institute in Freiburg, Germany. We offer a diverse cultural program, English language courses for all ages, and we also have a vibrant all-English library. We are a nonprofit institute supported in part by our members. The main goal of the Carl-Schurz-Haus is to facilitate transatlantic discourse across all areas, ranging from literature to politics to business. In addition to coordinating the English language courses for adults at the Carl-Schurz-Haus and in companies, I'm also head of the German-American business community. We provide events centered around transatlantic business relations, professional development, and networking. I would like to take this time to thank you for choosing to spend your lunch break with us. Here with me today is Sarah Winkler of the Energieagentur in Freiburg and Tobias Bobka of Bobka Mittelstandsberatung, one of our GABC company members. Also with us is my assistant Elsa, who will be dropping some useful links into the chat for those of you viewing via Zoom. We will upload these links to YouTube, to the YouTube recording later. We're going to first hear from Sarah, who will talk to us about going paperless. And then we'll chat with Tobias about his experiences in sales and as a C-level consultant. Please feel free to post any questions in the chat for Sarah, Tobias, or myself, and we will do our best to answer them. Okay, so let's start with Sarah. Sarah Winkler has her Master's of Science in Business Management and Entrepreneurship, Renewable Energy, and is the project manager for climate protection and publicity at the Energieagentur Regio Freiburg. She is here today to show us the way to a paperless and sustainable office. So with that, I will say, take it away, Sarah.
Thank you. Okay, let's start by sharing my screen. So can you see my presentation? Yes, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much, Ashley, for introducing me and for inviting me to speak today about this very exciting topic, how to go paperless. Okay, now it works. My name is Sarah Winkler. I'm working at the Energieagentur Regio Freiburg. As a regional energy agency, we offer consulting, support, and implementation services in climate protection and climate adaptation projects for cities, companies, and homeowners. So if you'd like to learn more about us, or if you're in need of an energy or climate advice, please feel free to visit our website or contact me. I work in the Department for Climate Protection and Public Relations. Here, I'm mainly involved in event planning and awareness raising, and I focused on the target group of companies. So one aspect that comes up very often in environmental consulting for companies is the transformation to paperless office. So the big picture to transforming the big picture of transforming to a paperless office is actually simple like this. Get a scanner, get a shredder, and get started. But there are a few more specifics which we will dive into in the following pages. First of all, it's important, nobody expects a paperless office to be paper-free. It's already a great success to significantly reduce the volume of paper in your office. Secondly, paperless office doesn't happen overnight. So it's a progress. A business won't get rid of paper one day after they started the idea. A paperless office means a work area where the use of paper has been eliminated or considerably reduced and instead relies on digital-based processes. Those work areas can range from paperless accounting to digital mail, to consumer management or project management. Its implementation is a first step towards a digital transformation of your entire company, and it offers great potential for saving resources. But why saving resources? The production of paper consumes resources such as wood, of course, and water, and above all, energy. And at the same time, the production process of paper releases a lot of CO2, which is the greenhouse gas that warms our planet and is stored in the forests. The use of paper is very destructive to our forests. There's a study showing that the about 10 million employees in Germany print out about 260 million sheets of paper every working day. This is a pile with a height of 26 kilometers. That's 3 times as high as the Mount Everest every working day. It's unbelievable. And furthermore, reducing paper will also result in less use of ink. And the process of ink production and the fumes which are released in this process have very negative effects on the environment too. So now imagine how useful to the environment paperless office systems would be. But, and there's always a but, also digital technologies such as information and communication technologies are an intensive consumer of resources and also a producer of emissions as well. So it's not enough to just convert the entire office to digital solutions and refer to the safe paper. It's also very important that you have a holistic approach that focuses on sustainability. And this must consider it from the very beginning when planning the IT. So the keyword is green IT, which means choosing sustainable digital solutions. Either way, if you want to protect the environment in the long term, the greatest potential lies in limited economical consumption, either of paper or of computer performances. So besides saving a lot of resources, what are other benefits of the paperless office? The paperless office represents the ability to improve business efficiency by creating functioning, shareable, and secure libraries for electronic information. And at the same time, reducing your operating costs for space and material, since there is no more need for storage for paper documents or printed products. So your business workflows become more efficient through the transformation from manual to automated work steps. So paper-based approach often means slower processes or a higher risk of inefficiency. For example, when documents get lost or couldn't be found, or handwritten notes being misread, or paperwork is incomplete. Another advantage of paperless office is that digital documents can be found more easily than paper-based documents, and there's an easy access to the documents. So if all documents are stored electronically as correctly named files, you will, or it will be very easy to search, and you will quickly find the needed files. So the point shareable, employees can work very flexibly and mobile since from different locations, since there is a central access to all documents instead of paper copies lying around in the offices. That's very important in times like this when you work from home. Digital business communication enables employees to work on the go, and also leads to increased exchange and collaboration among team members and employees. Yeah, and one reason for a lot of people to don't go paperless is the fear of their digitized files getting hacked or discovered. So one important thing to remember is that your paper documents are only as secure as your locks on the door. A lot of companies misunderstand this. So if all your documents are stored electronically, only people who are allowed or permitted will have access to them. So the documents will be more secure. And unlike paper-based records, security backups allow you to easily recover digital files. So how can your organization become paperless? Get started by first taking inventory. That means discover which areas generate how much paper, perhaps where are inefficient processes, which workflows and departments should be digitized first. Those are a few questions you can ask yourself at that point. Of course, it is very important to get everybody on board. So engage your employees by involving them in the process. After that, you can identify what target you want to achieve. For that, it can be helpful to set small milestones. And it's also best to define a time frame by which the implementation should take place. In the next step, select a suitable software, for example, for digital document management, project management, communication, and remember on choosing sustainable solutions. For that, all employees should be equipped with laptops, tablets, and install the required software and instruct them how to use those software. Next, digitize all your existing and archived paper documents and place them in a useful folder structure. Then destroy no longer needed required documents. I know this is very hard. It's not the easiest part in the whole process. Use digital collaboration tools in your team for communication and coordination, such as Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Zoom. And after that, after most of the work is done, it's time to maintain the paperless office. And I brought you some tips how to maintain a paperless and sustainable office. So keep your office paperless by scanning all the paper documents you receive. Another idea is with a good folder structure, you can avoid sending documents via email by sending file links in team internal communication instead. So you can also implement legally compliant digital signatures. So print, sign, scan will no longer be necessary. That's a very important point for a lot of companies. Yeah, compress the size of photos and documents for sending via email or for use in presentation. And last but not least, a lack of IT skills among your employees can also be a problem. So training courses can create competence here and security among the employees. Yeah, there are a lot of more tips and hints I can give you, but yeah, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. So do you have any questions? Ashley, I can't see the chat, so you have to help me.
I think that was quite thorough, actually, Sarah. You pointed out, I like the simple concept of scan, shred, and just start. You know, from the beginning, and how data security is so important. I know that this is something that a lot of people are currently trying to implement. I know us here at the Carl-Schurz-Haus, we are also trying to get a paperless office going, or at least in that direction, trying to limit our use and also do a lot more things digitally. And so I think those quite helpful tips. I don't have any other questions at the moment. So I would like to thank you for your presentation. And I think we can switch gears back to Tobias as well. We'll stop your screen share. Thank you. So here we are.
Here we are.
I'm going to introduce Tobias Bobka before we start our interview. He is a freelance management consultant and interim executive officer, and he also has his own business consulting agency, Bobka Mittelstandsberatung, here in Freiburg. He has over 15 years of sales and restructuring expertise at the decision maker level. He's a certified professional sales expert, a member of the IBWF expert pool for SMEs, and a certified restructuring and reorganization expert with a sure instinct for profitable sales growth. His work experience and expertise truly runs the sales gambit, from consumer goods to IT to wholesale. He does it all. So jumping right in, Tobias, you have such a diverse background, as I briefly went over here, in sales specifically, and offer quite an interesting range of services, especially to SMEs or small, medium enterprises. Can you give us some insight into how and why your business was established?
Yeah, of course I can. Next year we celebrate our 10th anniversary here at Mittelstandsberatung already. It's a long time ago. It all started in 2012, I think, where I had the chance to take over the first time as the interim role as a managing director for a family-owned business here in Freiburg, which showed up and said, okay, maybe you can help us to restructure within the next months the whole company. Was quite an interesting family-owned company here, and that was the start where I realized that there's something else than spending more than 300 nights away from home, which was my life before that. So I really enjoyed that you have constantly new challenging issues every day, especially if you're working with SMEs, and that was one of the reasons that was the driver to get in contact with more SMEs now, because before I worked for group subsidiaries, for example, as you told, in consumer electronic retails, and what was quite interesting at the SMEs was the short decision path and the high grade of individual responsibility you have, and the very empathic hands-on leadership you can have, of course, which is not always the time at groups, for example, or larger groups. And in 2012, the start of the company was only the interim business for family-owned business, and since 2012, there happened a lot of things, because now we provide the services to interim providers, for example, to family offices, private equity, of course, and always concerning transition situations, managing teams up to maybe 500 staff in manufacturing, commercial, or service companies. And in 2013, we established Bobka Mittelstandsberatung with an own office here in Freiburg as a sparringspartner for entrepreneurs, also for C-level decision makers, and always with a very clear focus on implementing change projects. And always, that was also the start for sales consulting and sales trainings, always made to measure, and mostly for wholesale, manufacturing, and service sector, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was quite the start, because I didn't want to spend more than 300 nights a year away from home and away from my wife, of course. And that was really the reason why I first started Bobka Mittelstandsberatung. Yeah. Okay. My wife always laughs at it.
Well, and it's been successful so far, I must say. Now, to get a little bit more into it, as a C-level consultant, you've taken on the role of executive officer several times during restructuring or changes in senior management. Do you have any advice for companies who might be going through such changes right now?
First of all, it's very important that you classify and evaluate the really crisis state you have, or the status quo at all, if you're not in a crisis, for example, and have a look at the growth potential you really have, and not only on cost cutting, because the first decision is always cost cutting, but not future trend. And you have also, and that's for many SMEs quite different. You have to turn to a very strict customer and market oriented view. So you have to rethink processes and structures all of your customers' view, and make the core business profitably again through a tailored growth strategy. And this concerns, of course, your services, your digitalization, your products, everything. And you have to establish quite a roadmap for that, for successful restructuring. And most of the companies have a plan but don't know how to realize it. Because, for example, just one example given, if you have a look at the liquidity and profitability plannings, you have to divide into a worst case, for example, a real case, and a best case. Most companies only act with the best case and are frustrated if it doesn't come true. And that is one of the reasons why you need an independent third-party advisor, which can really point out the real pain point the company have and work out new solutions. And the real key factors are very simple. Just communicate very open, winning people for the change, for example, and taking them along and empowering your key players. And that's not always easy, especially for the management, and that's the reason because of the multiple conflict hotspots I've just mentioned, that you need an independent third party which can really point out the pain points and find new solutions with the existing team, and because it's all about professional communication and negotiation skills, of course, towards staff, also towards trade unions, banks, trade creditors, or suppliers, as well as the executive bodies, of course, and shareholders. So most of the time, it is definitely needed that you have the external helpsman with a profound cross-industry level experience and taking over the responsibility for the consistent change. And there are three things that are quite important, because you have to really decimate the complexity in the whole company's actions to ensure transparency is the second one. And the third one is to create the structures out of your customer's view, because that is one of the most important points. Many SMEs don't have the focus yet.
Keeping customers' view in mind. I think that was probably one of your Freitag impulses that we watched before.
Yeah.
We'll get to that point shortly. So what about advice for a small or medium-sized company who's struggling to reach their sales targets?
I would say, first of all, take a closer look at your today's setup and identify your real sales potential. Instead of looking back at the results in the past, for example, focus your real market potential. And how does it work? Just know your target group. That sounds simple, but it isn't in the reality, because you have to find out what needs, fears, and expectations, of course, are currently driving your customers around. And describe this, let's call it buyer persona, where you can exactly know how your buyers or your customers will react in different situations. And it is also very important to empower your key players and staff to inspire with individual customer benefits in targeted manner. And the next thing is watch out for your sales approach to the target group. For example, enable your team for a really emotion-focused customer approach. Shortly said, inspire rather than inform, which most of the companies do. And there's one principle which is quite easy to use. It calls AIDA principle: attention, interest, desire, and action. So you have to get the attention of your audience. You have to get them interested in what you're doing. Most of the times you should be able to push them into desire to get in contact with you. And then you have, of course, to come in action to get in contact with them. And another point can be optimizing everyday sales work from the customer's perspective, of course. All the processes you have, just to have a look at it and say, okay, are they all necessary? Are they all necessary in the deep level, or can we just cut it down, for example, and then measure sales results transparently and consistently, of course, with a KPI dashboard, which is very easy and effective. Most of the companies, especially SMEs, are very great in having a KPI dashboard with about 20 or maybe more KPIs. And that's one of the problems, because the salespeople doesn't focus on the really pain points.
And pulling back to this thread of you as a consultant and reaching out to your customer base and focusing on your target group, as a consultant, kind of that's so broad for you. And I feel like in a way that's also why you have so much content production, perhaps, because for those of you who don't know, Tobias has these Monday morning motivations that he puts out, as well as Bobka's Freitags Impros. Maybe for anyone who doesn't know, could you explain a little bit more about what these are and why you do them?
Simply, it's all about sharing best practice concerning sales and leadership. We're trying to support people in realizing their potential in sales, for example. So on Monday, it's kind of a preview of Friday's topic. We call it Monday morning motivation. It's always a famous quote and a suitable, sometimes also steering picture to it. And on Friday, we present the Bobka's Freitagsimpulse, which is a video peppered with best practice content for direct assistance to SMEs, for example, where we provide assistance for successful conduct of negotiations, for example, revealing secret professional negotiation tricks, for example, convey effect techniques in sales presentations, or present effective ways to find new customers or win back lost customers, and much more. And we show how to become your customers' real fans, and presenting also future trends like servitization, which is one of the next one, where we show how to get from a product to a service orientated company. And you can have a look at our YouTube channel with at the moment about 127 videos, all about best practice sharing.
Okay. And are you the brains behind all of this content production, or is that also teamwork?
It's always teamwork. So most of the times I have the idea, and then we start researching what can be interesting for our audience. And then we're searching the real content, and it goes years after year. And it took some time, of course, but now we're really happy. We have more than 70 publications and white papers also available at the website, and have the own podcast channel. So whatever you want, we can deliver you with enough best practice sharing.
Well, I applaud your best practice sharing, and anyone out there who's interested to learn more about Bobka Mittelstandsberatung or to speak with Toby, I encourage you to visit their webpage, the link bio, connect with them on LinkedIn, check out those white pages, the white papers, as well as the YouTube channel. There's a lot out there, and it's all incredibly useful information that I think applies to various areas of business, whether you're an SME or whether you're also your own entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Tobias, for sharing that. You can also see other member updates on our LinkedIn showcase page. So if anybody is interested in finding out about our other members, we'll also be able to meet the next one on the next lunch break here. And on that note, I would like to bring up the subject of membership. If you like what we do and would like to broaden your network while supporting your local German-American Institute, I encourage you to like, share, donate, and/or become a member with us. As a nonprofit organization, the Carl-Schurz-Haus relies on the support of our local and virtual community members. So if you aren't a member yet and are interested in becoming one, please visit our website, or feel free to just send me an email, and I'm happy to help you further. The Carl-Schurz-Haus cultural programming calendar for May and June features a variety of events, including talks about midterm elections, a joyful noise photo exhibit opening. There's also a reading with Joshua Cohen, and even a puppet show in our library about the life of Carl Schurz. You can check out the Carl-Schurz-Haus website for more information. The next GABC event is next Wednesday, May 11th, 8 o'clock. We're going to have a workshop with Jahan Banu of Aligned Coaching on taking control of your time. And on May 25th is our next English-speaking entrepreneurs meeting that will be online at 3 o'clock. For anyone who's looking to improve their English skills, we also offer business English courses, both online and in person. You can check out our website for more information there. If you missed an event, be sure to check out our YouTube page for recordings, and to stay informed, again, follow us on LinkedIn or sign up for our newsletter. I would like to once again thank my guest, Sarah. Thank you, Toby, for joining me today. It's been highly informative, and we did it within less than 30 minutes. How about that? Thank you to all of our viewers via Zoom and YouTube, and those watching this at a later date. Thanks for learning while you lunch, or while you breakfast, maybe, if you're tuning in from the US. The next lunch break will be August 3rd, so save the date. I hope to see you again, either online or in person, at the Carl-Schurz-Haus for our next event. Enjoy the rest of your lunch break, everyone, and hope to see you soon.